TV star Jill Dando was shot dead on her doorstep on a spring morning in 1999. Her murder remains unsolved. 26 years on, the Daily Mirror investigation can reveal crucial new evidence. In a major new development, the Daily Mirror can reveal that the Metropolitan Police are assessing fresh evidence uncovered during our investigation. Evidence that links Jill Dando's murder to a notorious Serbian assassin. Central to this new material is a photograph that has only recently come to light. A photograph of convicted killer Milorad Ulemek wearing a distinctive tie. A tie that appears to match one worn by an unidentified suspect known only as Man X. He is still wanted over Jill's murder. The Met responded to our findings this week with a carefully worded statement. It said, "No unsolved murder is ever closed, and detectives are assessing this information to understand whether it's a new and realistic line of inquiry." The first part of our investigation was published in 2024. It focused on a mystery man known to police only as N6814. He was caught on CCTV a mile from Jill's home around 23 minutes after the murder. The suspect is still wanted for questioning. Facial comparison expert Emi Polito concluded that ruthless Serbian assassin Milorad Ulemek bears a striking resemblance to N6814. Mr. Polito could find no differences between the two men's features. This is Putney Bridge tube station, around a mile from the murder scene. It was here where a man was caught on CCTV around 20 minutes after the shooting. He has never been identified. We have obtained a photograph of Ulemek wearing a very unusual tie that matches the one worn by the unidentified man in the CCTV. We've conducted forensic analysis on the two images of both ties, found no differences between the two ties. The expert evidence of how Jill was killed is terrifying and graphic, but we believe it is central to understanding the case. The killer pressed the muzzle of a pistol into her skull, meaning the sound of the single shot was absorbed by her head, which acted as a natural silencer. A customized bullet destroyed her brainstem, immediately shutting down her heart and lung functions. Jill's inquest was told that it was an unsurvivable injury. This was an execution carried out with military precision. At the time Jill was killed, Milorad Ulemek was a senior member of the JSO, a 500-man unit of the Serbian intelligence service. The JSO carried out state-sponsored murders. Ulemek told a Belgrade court in 2014 that he made himself available for what he described as a special operation on April the 15th, 1999. That was 11 days before Jill was killed. We can now reveal that his spy master at this time has admitted plotting assassinations abroad for the Yugoslavian security services. Dragan Filipovic, known as Major Fika, writes in his book Anatomy of the Globalist Stink that he covertly dispatched several special forces units into Europe after NATO began bombing Yugoslavia on March 24, 1999. He wrote that one of the plots, which he described as a secret reprisal action deep inside enemy territory, was successful. Filipovic does not specify what the operation was, though the clear implication is that it was an assassination. Filipovic's book also gives us a better understanding of the possible motive for Jill's murder. He rails against non-governmental organisations, saying they are designed to destabilise and overthrow foreign leaders in the interests of the West. The Serb nationalists believed they were based on the doctrine of special war, a tactic of using intelligence and propaganda to destabilise regimes around the world. This is important because Jill fronted an appeal for some of the world's largest non-governmental organisations just 20 days before she was murdered.
We've all become aware of the humanitarian crisis facing the Balkans as thousands of people from Kosovo have left their homes and arrived on the borders of neighbouring countries. Most aid agencies were already working in the former Yugoslavian region, and they were quickly in action, but to meet the massive demand of this humanitarian crisis, they need your help.
She described Kosovo in the Disasters Emergency Appeal as a former Yugoslavian region, a phrase that would have enraged Filipovic, who saw it as the cradle of the Serbian nation. The source with knowledge of the Serbian security services told the Mirror that this statement could have been taken as offensive at the time, resulting in Filipovic potentially taking action. The latest material, uncovered by the Mirror and now being assessed by detectives, builds on our earlier work, published in a string of articles and videos over the last 18 months. We invite you to have a look at them. It uncovered missed opportunities and lines of inquiry that were never fully pursued. I interviewed two former Met Detective Chief Superintendents. Barry Webb reviewed Jill's case back in '99, and Albert Patrick, who carried out a number of murder investigations and reviews when he was on the force.
I think that there are genuine lines of inquiry that, as a reviewing officer, you'd be looking at to see whether they'd been done and seeing what outstanding opportunities there are. None of the material I've seen has shown me that there's been a robust, independent review. Jill Dando was a loved person. Her family deserved justice.
This is a cold case. We don't think the killer has been identified and convicted. We think there's lines of inquiry that need to be acted upon. And for me, I would go all the way back to Message 1, Action 1, Document 1, Exhibit 1, Statement 1, and look again. Because sometimes we get it wrong, and the killer is still out there.
While the case is not being routinely reviewed, the Met has confirmed that detectives are now examining the material uncovered by the Mirror to determine whether it could open a line of inquiry. The Metropolitan Police told us in a statement, "In the 26 years since Jill Dando's murder, the investigation has been subject to numerous reviews, aiming to identify whether matters could be progressed with advances in technology and forensics. The investigation is now in an inactive phase, which means that it is not currently subject to routine reviews. However, no unsolved murder is ever closed, and detectives are assessing this information to understand whether it's a new and realistic line of inquiry." Locked away in deep police storage are 223 boxes of evidence relating to Jill's case, tens of thousands of pages gathered during a vast investigation. Jill's murder became the second biggest homicide investigation in the Met Police history, eclipsed only by the inquiry into the racist killing of Stephen Lawrence. More than 26 years on, it's likely that the clues needed to identify her killer lie buried in those files. And now, with fresh material and former detectives pressing for a renewed look at the case, there's a cautious hope that this investigation could move forward, and that justice for Jill may no longer be out of reach.